Hello, friends from Five Reasons. Welcome back to our Marlins report. This one right after the opening day game between the Miami Marlins and the San Francisco Giants. Sadly, a win for the Giants in 10 innings, a walk-off, and a 6-1 loss for the Marlins, for the Miami Marlins to open up this 22 season. And in a game that, it was a little bit of a roller coaster
It
at the end.
was a roller coaster.
We're gonna discuss it with our friend David Fernandez. In the beginning, it
Cheers,
looked like,
everybody.
yeah. Cheers, welcome back. It's Friday night, so why not have a
Yeah,
beer, have something? I
got
don't know if
some
that.
some
I thought.
Marlins lager right here.
Oh, okay, I thought it was green tea or something.
No, no, no.
So yeah, it's a Friday night. It's opening day for some teams. So why not? Why not
Yes,
get
sir.
something to drink? The Miami Heat is also playing at this moment, and so it's a night to enjoy. So, it was an interesting game. In the beginning, it looked like the Marlins couldn't really touch Logan Webb. Logan Webb was
Yeah,
just unbelievable. But then they got to the bullpen, and let's
they did.
discuss. We're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do five takeaways from opening day for the Marlins. So let's go ahead. First, give me your overall thought of the game, and then we'll go by one by one.
Yeah, so that was an incredible game to watch, which isn't something that we could always say last season, right? Or over the last few seasons. I mean, we had some snoozers
Yeah.
last season and the year before, actually for the last several years, right? But this was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it was exciting, particularly obviously the second half of the game was really exciting to watch from an offensive perspective. You wish that Sandy was a little bit better, and you wish that they could have produced some runs for him. But again, like you said, they were going up against Logan Webb, who's really one of the best pitchers in the National League, if not all of baseball. And he had his stuff going today. Everything was going into the ground for the Marlins, and they just couldn't come up with that big hit early, but they got the big hits late, and it looked like they were going to come away with a win, and the bullpen just couldn't hang on there to the end. But listen, I know we lost 6-5. It was tough, but I'm encouraged actually about what we watched and what we saw, especially with some of the guys, some of the new guys, and the way that they played. Were there some things that I'm disappointed about? Yeah, of course. But all in all, I feel pretty good about this team after that game.
Yeah, let's discuss that Sandy Alcantara start because it's not in our five takeaways. He didn't pitch bad. Maybe the walks that's been an issue for him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, listen,
in
he didn't have a game. Not once last season did he have 5 walks. Not
Yeah, so
once.
so that's something to work on, to focus on for sure. But we have to remember, maybe we're gonna, of course the memory is gonna be the home run in the ninth, and then the play in the walk off in the 10th. But actually the first runs for the Giants came after a big error by Joey Wendell,
Yep.
and we have to really remember that, especially in a one run game, you come back and all these little details
Yep.
come back and bite you, right? So that was a play where Wendell should have just grabbed the ball. It is what it is. They bunt. They bunted really well, and it worked. It's an infield hit, and that's it. And that turned into a run. And then the other guy was in scoring position, a base hit right after that. And the shift didn't work today for the Marlins. Not didn't
No,
work in that
it worked
particular
for the
play.
Giants, but not for the
Yeah,
Marlins.
he worked for the Giants for sure. So he didn't pitch bad, but it
No.
was it could be better. But we also needed a little bit of a better defense there. And you,
Yeah.
an error by Wendell, and also you missed Jesus Aguilar there at first base. Something happened because he was supposed to be starting at first base, and then he just DH'd. So
Yeah, that
uh,
was weird. They did. They came out with that. I mean, I don't know if it was a typo on the original sort of release, but yeah, they backed off that pretty quickly. And Aguilar's the better defender over there at first. There's no
yeah,
question about it. It was a tough one for Sandy. Obviously, it was short in spring training, so maybe that had something to do with it. So he was still sort of working up. I mean, he only went 5 innings today, 83 pitches, but only 44 of the 83 pitches were strikes. So he did have some command issues, some control issues. But again, the offense didn't produce for him. Last season, the Marlins only produced 3 runs per game for him, and that was the lowest of any MLB starter that had at least 22 starts. And so they didn't. Again, they didn't. Now, I'm not really faulting them. They were going up against Logan Webb and a great San Francisco Giants defense, but still, it kind of it hurts. It hurts my heart a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean the Giants did their job getting to Sandy Alcantara somehow, right? They
Yep.
bunted, they try to put the ball in play, and they scored some runs off him. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's and they're gonna face great pitchers all year long, so they
Yeah.
have to
No,
find
they're
a
right.
way to score some runs and scratch some
Absolutely.
runs here and then. And they did that coming in, and we're gonna start with the takeaways from today, right? So what's your number one? Because the runs came from a guy we were not expecting tonight. So
Right.
let's go and
Yeah.
review the five takeaways from opening day. What's number one?
Yeah. It's takeaway number one. Jacob Stallings was awesome. I mean, he was great. The first half of the game, he was,
He,
I mean, a
yeah, he
couple
put on a
great plays
show.
behind the plate, right? He had the
Yeah.
pickoff, he had the caught stealing. He looked really, really good. And then you're not even worried about the offensive production, right? The offensive production at that point is just extra because our catcher defense has been so bad for so long. But then he came up with some of the biggest hits of the year, right? He went 2 for 4. He had 3 RBI, and he hit a home run in his first game as a Marlin. That happens to a lot of catchers for the Marlins. He is the seventh catcher in Marlins history to hit
Wow.
a home run in his first game with the Marlins. Charles Johnson did it, Pudge Rodriguez did it, Alfaro did it, John Buck, Paul Loduca, and Nick Fortes. They've all done it, and Jacob Stallings joined that illustrious group. Now, hopefully, he produces a little bit better, like the guys at the front end of that list, than like the guys towards the end of that list. But he was awesome today. He was really really good.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, he's been a 250 average kind of catcher. I mean, very solid back there, and we saw it the pick off, like you said, also that caught us stealing. I mean, two perfect throws to second base.
Hmm.
Miggy just had to grab it and tag real quick, and that was it. So, I mean, he did put on a show. I mean, don't get too excited. He's not. I mean, I
Yeah,
tweeted
nice.
he's the MVP because he had an MVP day. I
Yeah,
mean, two great plays behind the plate, and then two clutch hits. I mean, you have to say it in the
yeah,
ninth inning. That was a very very clutch hit, and
yeah.
he
That
got
was
out.
huge.
He got out because of a pinch runner, but then he had a great game. So that was the takeaway number one. Jacob Stallings already showing what a difference, right? The
Yeah,
Marlins struggle so much with catchers, and it's a blessing to have a guy that can actually be very solid back there, and that's something that we're going to enjoy this season. So let's go ahead with takeaway number two. Stallings made it a little closer, but before that, we saw some of the new guys coming from the bullpen. Talk a little bit about this. What's
yeah.
number two
So
there in the list?
we didn't get to see these guys during spring, and so
Right.
we were only able to talk about them. But the guys that they traded for from Baltimore, Cole Solzer and Tanner Scott, looked really good today. I mean, Tanner Scott specifically. Tanner Scott's stuff is high end stuff. He's got
Yeah,
that
it's
awesome slider.
electric, right? It's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, he's really really good. Like his stuff is really really good. But the thing about Scott has always been walks. His command isn't great, but today he was on his game, right? He threw 15 pitches. 9 of the 15 pitches went for strikes today, and he got a strikeout. He looked really really good, and then Solzer came in right behind him, and his stuff wasn't as impressive as Scott's. He gave up a couple long fly balls, which you worry about a little bit, but still he did his job. He kept the Giants off the board. He got a strikeout. He threw 16 pitches. 10 of the 16 pitches went for strikes. That's the thing that you need out of your bullpen arms. You need them to throw strikes, and you need to keep guys off the base paths, which is something that the other guys in the back end of the bullpen, they weren't able to do that today.
Yeah, I mean the guys that we're supposed to be trusting now, Richard Blyer, and we'll talk about him maybe later, and the other guys didn't come up. I mean, when we needed him, I mean the Marlins would have taken this game, and it would have been maybe the biggest surprise of opening day so far if the
Yeah.
Marlins really took over and won against the team that had the most wins in the 2021 season. But that was it. All right, let's go back to the latest innings. After that, Jacob Stallings base hit, important base hit that brought in Miguel Rojas from second base. We had the Jazz moment. Let's talk
Yeah.
about this third takeaway. because I mean this is what we're asking from this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean that was a star-making moment right there. Well, it would have been if the Marlins were able to close out that game. That would have been the lead highlight on ESPN, right? That would have been the talk of the town.
Yeah,
Jazz
maybe
giving them
not
the
ESPN because they don't like Miami, but
well,
maybe
well,
Bali Sports down here.
yeah, certainly Bally's,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe MLB Network, I guess. But
Maybe, yes.
yeah, I mean Jazz was clutch today, and that homer that should have been it. That should have given them the opening day win. That should have sent the Marlins into the win column, and everybody would have been happy after that. He went 2 for 3 today with a walk. Obviously, he had the 2-run homer. He looked really good too. That's you worry a little bit about Mattingly maybe putting him at the end of the lineup, right? Because maybe
Yeah,
obviously he's not going to get as many at bats as you
yeah.
would like.
The lineup construction is kind of weird, but I guess we'll have to see it. Give it a I don't know 10, 15 games to see if it
Yeah,
works or
I
not.
mean his speed at the bottom of the lineup. When the lineup wraps around, if he can get on base, then he's got all of those really good hitters coming in behind him, right?
Right.
So he was really clutch today. He was a lot of fun to watch. It's just too bad that they couldn't close it out and get him that game-winning homer.
Yeah, I mean the MVP would have been very close because Stallings
Yeah,
was very important, but Jazz came out big with that
yeah.
home run.
In the
And
biggest moment, like that was the biggest moment,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and then it wasn't.
We were doing the Miami Heat pregame show, and I was watching the game, and I turned back, and he already had hit the home run. I was like, yeah. So I mean, it was exciting. It was really exciting for
Yeah. Oh
sure.
no! Listen, the game was a roller coaster. Marlins Twitter was a roller coaster. Like it was something to behold today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what we were expecting, right?
Yep.
A lot of exciting this season. Hopefully, more wins than losses. So, what's your fourth takeaway from tonight?
Yeah.
Let's see.
So the fourth positive takeaway, we're doing 5 takeaways here on 5 reasons sports, right? So we'll do 4 positives, and then we're going to kind of lump all of the negative ones in at the end. But the fourth positive, Avi Garcia, I know that he only went 1 for 5,
Yeah,
but his play in the 10th, that cannon of an arm, I mean, that was impressive. And that could have and really should have given the Marlins another turn to hit, right?
yeah,
He caught that long fly ball and then just gunned the ball into the pickoff man. I think it was Rojas who
yeah,
who who fielded the throw, and then he flipped it to Jazz, and they got that out, which again, you would think all of the Marlins would have the momentum at that point, and you would sort of feed into the next inning. So I was really impressed by his defense. He didn't strike out today, which was good. He's got a high sort of strikeout rate for his career,
hmm
but it was weird. All 5 of his hits went to third base, every single one. Like he was pulling the ball the entire time.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Maybe the only one was his infield hit, which hit the pitcher's
Oh
glove,
yeah,
and
okay.
then
So the
and
only one
then he
where he
went
got
to third.
everything else, he pulled it right to third
Yeah,
base.
and he did
Um,
have an at bat. What was it? Was it in the ninth or the 10th when he had an at bat with men on third, and then Cooper got picked up between third and home plate, right? I
yeah.
think
Oh,
so.
that
Yeah,
was that was in
that was in
that
the
was in the
10th, I
10th.
think.
They
Yeah, yeah,
ran
yeah,
themselves out of that inning. So
yeah, yeah.
but that's what you get when you have Garrett Cooper on the base side. I
Yeah,
mean,
because I mean the third baseman was playing back, so if you have a quick guy, I mean he's going
yeah.
home, and
I
maybe you
mean
have
that
a close play at home
you
plate.
worry a little bit, I guess, about the roster construction at that point because Mattingly had already used Birdie as a pinch runner.
Right.
So he couldn't pinch run for Cooper. But I mean, yeah, and Cooper was playing in the field, so like if he was the
Yeah, it's
DH, maybe you pinch run with De La Cruz at that point, or I
right.
mean
Yeah,
even I mean somebody.
they did have De La Cruz there, so
Yeah, but I guess they wouldn't have anybody to play first base at that point because
well, but you know what? Here's the thing. I know it's the first game of the season, but you have to throw everything you have. Then who plays first? Well, you figured out that part in the bottom of the. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, no, you're
that's how I think that the Marlins have to approach this season. I mean, you have to be aggressive, and try to. I know. I mean, it's the first game of the season. I get
yeah,
it. But with men on third with one out, why not put a faster guy there? Because Cooper would have needed a fly ball, a deep fly ball to actually
yeah.
score from
he
third.
advanced. He advanced on one fly ball. I forget who
Right.
hit it. It might have been Garcia who hit it. Well, no, it wasn't Garcia who hit that one.
Yeah, it
But
was the one who came right before Garcia.
yeah, Aguilar got that one.
Aguilar. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he advanced, and I didn't think he was going to make it, but then but then the next, getting caught in a rundown in extra, like they ran again. They ran themselves out of that inning. It was a disaster.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not gonna remember that part. We're probably gonna
No.
remember what happened in the bottom of this inning. So let's go back and let's finish this five takeaways with the bad bees. We're gonna call them the bad bees
Oh,
today
the bad
because
bees.
they are. I mean, they all have bees in their names or last names. So what are they? What happened?
Oh man, the bad
What did they
bees were
do?
out in force in this game, man. Blyer, BA, Bender, and Bass. They were all terrible. I wish there was a B word there that I could use on our
I mean,
stream.
the
Uh,
bad. You said it. The
they
bad.
were bad, yeah. I mean, but uh,
Brutal.
yeah, brutal. There we go. I used to be an English teacher. I forgot all the words now. So I mean, Blyer giving up that home run to a lefty is really concerning. And now Blyer was not good this spring. So the
Yeah.
fact that he was again not good today,
Yeah.
you start to worry about that a little bit because you thought that Blyer was going to be the shutdown lefty for this bullpen. He had 2 outs. He had a lefty, in the
Yeah.
batter's
Lefty and
box,
lefty. Yeah.
and he surrenders a home run. If he doesn't give up that run there, this game again is very, very different.
Yeah, there's so many details. You can go all around
No,
the
I know,
game,
I know.
and it's gonna be that way. But you know what? I want to give Brandon Belt a little bit of credit. It was a fastball inside. He stuck his hands inside. He hit it in a line drive, and it barely went over the wall. I
Yeah.
mean, at some
Yeah, I know.
point
When
you
he
had
hit it,
to.
it didn't look like it was gonna get out, and then it
Yeah,
just got over. And he kills the Marlins. He always does really well against the Marlins. But so
yeah,
Blyer, he was in a big spot and he failed. And then Brian Anderson, on the bench on opening day. This is a guy that people wanted the team to extend for so long. They're like, you got to pay him, pay BA, pay BA, pay BA. The Marlins held off, and it's starting to look like maybe the Marlins see something that the fans don't necessarily see, that he
yeah,
might not be worth a huge multi-million-dollar extension because he looked lost in that at bat. Not a single pitch that he swung at in that at bat with a chance to give the Marlins the lead. Not a single pitch was in the strike zone.
yeah.
It was terrible.
They were the three pitchers. I know the pitcher because he's Venezuelan and he's been in the major leagues for so many years. And Anderson should know as well. And they have the iPads there, so they can prepare.
Yeah.
They have no excuses for this. It was just three horrible changeups in the outside. I mean, it was like a feet away from the actual strike zone. The same pitch three times. You had to make an adjustment and have a better at bat there because it was
I
a
couldn't have
clutch.
done any worse. Like me personally, could not have done any worse. And I haven't played since Little League. So I mean, it was a
Yeah,
disaster.
it was
And
bad. It was
you
bad.
know,
I
you
mean,
you
to
you
be
think that
honest, maybe Brian Anderson is not used to this role, right? So
no, I mean that
this is
that there's
something
something
that
to
he
be
has
said for
to,
that. Yeah.
yeah, he has to get used to if they're going to use
There's
him that way.
definitely something to be said for that. But it was clear the writing was on the wall that Wendell was going to be the regular, the everyday third baseman. And then as we were watching the game and we saw Wendell commit those two errors, you're thinking, in the back of my mind at least, I'm like, Brian Anderson probably doesn't make at least one of those errors, right?
Yeah,
So maybe that changes the math a little bit, but Wendell is better with the bat at this
yeah,
point, which is what the team needs. The organization wants offense, and they got offense today. They put up 5 runs, which is a good number.
yeah.
And
They should get Joe a win. Yeah.
but BA he blew that at bat to get another B in there.
All
So
right,
the other two guys,
let's continue with the
yeah.
bad bees.
So the bad bees, Bender, he blew it too. Like he blew his first save of the season and his first opportunity and the first hitter that was in the box. I mean, and he knew it the minute he threw that pitch and it
No,
just hung up there.
that
It
ball
was
was just destroyed.
yeah, it was a meatball, and they killed it. And you were like, you think about he's young, right? They found him in the independent league, in what was it, 2020, I guess, or maybe right before 2021, whatever it was. And he was with the team last year. and he had some success, right? He's got great stuff. And in his first really big spot on the road, opening day against the team with the best record in the NL last year, and he blew it. And he closed out the inning. Obviously, he did get a strikeout, so he had a little bit of a bounce back. But still, they needed him to lock that game down, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at it, the two guys or maybe the three guys that you're supposed to trust in this bullpen did not do a
Well,
good job.
listen,
But
the last one on this list is Bass, who you thought, at least at the beginning of last year, was supposed to be the closer, right? And he blew
yeah,
it then, and he blew it again today. And he after the amazing defensive play by Avi Garcia, to get the 2 outs and to erase the runner, he walks the next batter, and then he gives up the double. And he wasn't throwing strikes. I mean, 16 total pitches, only 7 of the 16 pitches were strikes. Like,
yeah.
you can't have that.
No, especially after your defense makes that play,
I know.
coming right after and throwing through 4 straight balls is it's just not acceptable. So 3 pitchers and a pinch hitter are the bad beats today. Blyer, I mean, all of them in the 8th, in the 9th, and then the 10th. The Giants scored, and then the Marlins couldn't get this first win of the season because of that. So there you go. Those are your bad beats for this time, and hopefully they.
No, but listen, I know that we're ending it on a sour note, right? But I today was fun to watch, and this team is going to be exciting, and they're going to score runs. They're not going to face a Logan Webb every single night, right? Sandy's going to be better, and you hope that Bender's going to be better, and that these other guys figure it out, right? But all in all, I think, we lost. It's 1 of 162, right?
Yeah.
It feels a little bit more because it's opening day, obviously, but I think this team is headed in the right direction. They still have some work to do, obviously, but it was a lot of fun to watch today.
Yeah, and it's been years of losing this type of games, so I guess the Marlins fans, they just have PTSD. At this,
PTSD, yeah,
yeah. At this time when every time, okay, here we go again. The
Yeah.
first blown save of the season, Bass again giving up a walk off hit. We've been there. Sandy pitching kind of well and then not getting any run support. Those things.
Yeah.
Are
No, they
repeating
were bad today too with runners in scoring position. I think they were like one of 8 with runners in scoring position, which is something they struggled with last year. So
only the new guy, Stallings, could get a base hit with a guy in scoring position. So that's something also to get better at. But like David said, it's just the first game of the season. On Saturday, tomorrow, we're going to have Pablo Lopez facing Carlos Rodon, a lefty. So we'll see if Mattingly makes any changes there in the lineup. And we're going to be coming back sometime soon with more analysis here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Thank you, David. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy the game. Tomorrow, the Miami Heat game, if you're watching the game as you watch this, 5 takeaways for the Miami Marlins game, and then we'll be back soon. David, enjoy your beer and enjoy your Friday night. See you later.
See you guys.